Ruben.
Yes. Hi.
We're ready for you.
Hi, Ruben.
How are you?
Hi, I'm very well, thank you. Nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm fantastic. My first question is, I'm really intrigued. How did you create a whole great show based on an unfinished novel?
Well, it was a treat, actually, and I feel very lucky to have been given the opportunity, because although the novel is unfinished, particularly the first sort of third of it, is very well written and very well rounded and very intricately thought through. And the characters that Edith Wharton created in her book are so sort of vivid and so modern feeling already that actually a lot of the work was done for me really by her. So I'm very grateful to her. And actually, we used the novel as a starting point, and the sort of setup of these young women coming over from America to England, and the sort of culture clash between the new money Americans coming into this sort of fusty English aristocracy is a sort of irresistible starting point in terms of almost anything. You can get the characters to then go off in almost any direction and experience any different kind of relationship and storyline. But the key to it for us was the friendship between these five young women who come over together on this sort of thrilling adventure, which feels like a kind of spring break kind of gap year, first holiday abroad with your girlfriends kind of thing, where they're so thrilled and so excited about the kind of adventures they're going to have and the people they're going to meet and what might happen, and doing it all together. And then actually the sort of reality of what that must have been like for those women when they come over and they're not welcomed as much as they thought they were going to be, and they're not sort of all together, because actually they're then paired off into these sorts of different country houses across England, away from their friends in many cases, and sometimes or often into families who are not that welcoming to them. So it was a challenge, but it was an absolutely thrilling one, which I was very pleased to take on.
And something that I really like, it's what you mentioned, it's the chemistry that they have between them.
Yeah.
How was the processing of casting them and finding these little details that the one is missing something, the other one compliment, because one is so comic, the other one is more serious, the other one is more outgoing, the other, like, they have different personalities, but when they are together, it's like a unit.
Yes, exactly that. Thank you for saying that. But absolutely, that's like any friendship group, isn't it, really? Male or female, as you know, there are different personalities within the group, and everybody has their kind of way of being when they're individuals. And then when you come together, you kind of have this sort of shorthand of, she's going to be the person who's probably in charge, and she's the one who's going to be making the funny comments, and she's probably going to be checking everybody's okay and has still got their sort of purse with them or whatever. So I think that's absolutely a universal thing among groups of friends, isn't it? And the casting process was huge and lengthy and extensive, and we had amazing casting directors who kind of trawled Britain and America and all over the place. Actually, we've got the five girls that we ended up with, three of them are American, one's English and one's Australian. So we saw so many tapes that amazing actresses had sent in, and we met lots of them over Zoom, and it was 6 months worth of casting for these girls, and we couldn't really have asked for better actors, really. We were so thrilled to find them, and though we saw lots and lots of people, and it was a search for them. As soon as those five came in individually, or we met them on Zoom, or we met them, we immediately sort of, it's such a weird process. I found it fascinating because it's my first experience of doing casting, and I kind of wish everybody could have that experience, because it's really interesting that you do kind of go, oh yeah, I think I know what we're looking for. We think we know what the character's like, and then suddenly someone comes and you're like, oh, brilliant. Well, you're Lizzie, you're Mabel. It was such a sort of, I was an actor for a long time, and actually as an actor, you do a lot of castings, and in my case, mostly unsuccessful ones, where you go, oh God, why aren't I getting that job? But actually the process of it is genuinely sort of waiting for the right person to come along. So it's not necessarily about why that person wasn't right. It's just all about why that person is right and why they work well together. And so we were very lucky. And then with the boys that we found, the young men that we found who are English, two of them, the boys, I must stop calling them boys, the men, who play Guy and Theo, are both new. They haven't worked. This is their first job in both cases. And Matthew Broom, who played Guy Fawkes, actually hadn't even finished drama school when we first met him. So they were all very new, and it was again, lengthy process, but we were delighted with the people that we found.
Thank you so much for your time. I think you just created a really refreshment new show.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Lovely to meet you. Cheers. Bye bye.